Good morning, all of you. So today we'll continue with the applications of the induced electric field. So let me start with the question. So let there be a rectangle loop. Previous class we just took the square loop. No, let me take the rectangular loop here. So let the lambda be the resistance per unit length. Let the length of this be 3 meter. Side length of this let it be 2 meter. Then the uniform magnetic field like this. And it is going to vary with the time. Let b is equal to 4 Tesla per second. So now I want the potential difference 1, 2, and EMF induced in each side. Like a previous class, what we did, the same thing we'll do for rectangular loop. So find potential difference across the sides. We'll do one thing, find EMF induced in loop, EMF in each side, PD across each side. First, what is the B bar? B bar. So what is the area of the loop? 3 into 2. Magnetic field is varying. So what is the EMF induced equal to S into dB by dt. The magnetic field varies with the time 4 Tesla per second. So area of this will be 2 into 3, and this is 4. 2 3 is 6. So 24 volt is what? Net EMF induced in the loop. How much in each side? So don't divide by 4 because EMF induced is proportional to length. Go back to the basic formula. The EMF induced in the loop is proportional to the length. So therefore, EMF induced in 1, 2 and 2, 3. 2 times of EMF induced in 1, 2, 2 times of EMF induced in 2, 3. There should be equal to EMF induced in the loop. On what basis? What all EMF induced will be shared by each side. Will be shared by each side, and EMF is proportional to length. So therefore, E12 by E23 should be equal to 3 by 2. We know total EMF is 24 volt. So solving this 192, we'll get the EMF induced in each side. Substituting this, so 2 E12. E12 will substitute here. So this will be 3 by 2, E23, 2 E23 should be equal to 24. So 5 E23 is equal to 24, or E23 equal to 24 by 5. 4.8 volt. Then how much E12 will be? 3 by 2 by 4.8. Anybody value?
7.2.
7.2. So there's a EMF induced in each side. Then what we should do? We should replace a cell, equivalent cell. How to give polarity of cell? From Lenz's law, B bar into the plane. Negative flux, the B bar is into the plane and increasing. Negative flux in defined by negative, EMF induced positive. So therefore the induced current in the circuit will flow anti-clockwise. So keeping that induced current, you should assume the polarity. So there should be a cell which will push that current, the assumption. So therefore the polarity should be given, keeping that induced current in their mind. So then what is the resistance of this? Lambda into 3, 6 ohm. EMF induced here is how much? 7 point. E1 to 7.2 volt. No, this is 7.2 volt. This will be 4 ohm. then 4.8 volt. So this will be the direction of current. Now you write potential differences. This EMF, so like a potential difference across 1, 2 is not 4.8 volt. Then who is responsible for this flow of current? Not potential difference. I think previous class I just made a conclusion. You check it now, this current will flow from higher to lower potential, lower to higher potential. So therefore the potential is not defined. Not defined means you cannot calculate. No, you connect voltmeter across 1 to it will read. So not defined, I think you should not think that will not exist. The will potential will not exist. Potential is not defined. I think a lot of difference is there. You connect voltmeter, the voltmeter will read potential difference, and it's meaningless. Therefore, we say not defined. Not exist, not defined. I think the words will give a lot of differences there in that one here. Even you calculate potential difference, it's of no use because the current is not due to potential difference. Apply the same the conventions like KVL, then calculate the potential differences. So therefore the EMF, not like if you get any the loop, the EMF induced in each side should be proportional to its length. Are you able to correlate? That's why I just picked up. Earlier it was square, no? 1/4, no. Here's a rectangular frame. If a triangular frame, right angle triangle comes. So different shaped loops, the EMF induced the side should be proportional to length. Keeping that in mind, you should carry on. What is the again expression for total current? Again, don't get deviated. The same Faraday's law by total resistance of the circuit. How much lambda into 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. Don't get deviated again. You apply Faraday's law, you get the EMF induced in the loop and total resistance of the circuit. So like that, we'll get the current I. So this I, the current I flows due to induced electric field. There's a background. This is what needed for us. Next, we'll go for all logical type of questions. So there's a one firm conclusion what we are making. What all that current flows is due to induced electric field, not due to potential difference. Okay, I'll scroll down. Let's take some. A metallic rod is placed with a part of it in a cylindrical region of radar where uniform magnetic time varying magnet exists, which is varying with the time. The induced potential difference between points A, B. This is the center of the loop, and this is the rod. It is okay. Let's take the this is O, A, B. Is asking how much of EMF induced potential difference between points A, B. And B bar is everywhere into the plane. So instead of showing everywhere, I'm just putting it one point. So this dB by dt is alpha. Let's begin with the problem. How to calculate only this AB? Now we have a loop OA and OB. Now I'm going to introduce, or I'm going to discuss a very good information regarding this. This one. First, shall we take OAB as a one loop? Treat OAB as a loop. Then let's calculate the flux linking the loop OAB. EOAB. So for that, what I should write? SOAB dB by dt. What is the area of that triangle? Of into, so that this we have, he has given length L and R is the radius. Anybody? Area of triangle? L square by 4.
Sir, L square by 2 root 3.
In terms of L, L square by
2 root 3.
Constant 2 root 3. Yeah? Okay, there's the area of triangle. dB by dt is what? Alpha. I think here no problem. EOAB, you write it. And then again, what we should do? We should find out EMF induced in each side. Then I'll get the EAB. I think there's a logic, no? What we tried in previous problem. Okay, let's look at the diagram here now. How E bar will be? Come to the Lenz's law. Faraday's law, first Lenz's law, B bar into the plane, negative flux increases, d phi by dt negative, EMF induced positive. So everywhere it should be tangential to the circle drawn in that, and we will produce such magnetic field only solenoid. Inside the solenoid, we are discussing what is this inside the solenoid. Because solenoid will not produce the field. In the cylindrical region of radius R, so a magnetic field will be varying. And how to produce that varying magnetic field already we have discussed, like B equal to mu naught Ni. If I send a variable current, it will produce. This is the background, always keep in mind. And all our problems related to like a solenoid field produced by solenoid only, because other structures cannot produce field. I cannot produce a time varying field. Solenoid is the easiest one. That's why all our problems are confined to circular magnetic field only. And now how E bar will be directed at various points. So I'm interested at OA. I'm interested only at OA first. How E bar? So shall I put it like this? The direction. I'll show few lines. It will be like this. E bar will be directed here. This will be the direction of E bar. And how you take DL, the DL you are going to take it in the direction. So for what is the E bar DL here? 90 degree. So what is EMF induced? EOA should be equal to integral of E bar dot DL. So some value E is there, some value it is having. So DL cos 90, no? At all points on 90, no? So no EMF induced across the side OE. Let's similarly come for OB. Even for OB also similar thing. So how E bar will be directed? Everywhere tangential. So like here it will be perpendicular to this. You have plenty of numericals based on this basic concept. No, here also you look at how DL, DL you are going to measure along OE. So what is the angle between them? EDL cos 90. Some value, it need not be E. I think we know as you move away, the E bar will increase, no? First problems. And on the circumference will be maximum. Again, it start decreasing. You must have background, I'm telling this one. Here, induced electric will be 0. As you move away, what happens? The induced electric field magnitude will increase and will be directed everywhere tangential. And outside what will be, again, you draw a circle tangent to it, the magnitude will be decreasing. Is it okay? There's a firm conclusion. Have this background. It'll be very easy to work out all these problems. Sir, I want E bar here. Put like this. It's not that only some specific points. Everywhere you can show it. There's the direction of E bar. Draw a circle, draw a tangent. So here also we can show it. But length of the arrow should move away as you move radially. But outside here again will decreases here. Here it will be maximum. Again it should decrease. Why it should decrease? Because from the formula, like this till infinity to extend till infinity. From here till infinity, the induced electric field will be there. Now will be directed perpendicular line joining OC. Have a very generalized idea because so many numericals will be related to this information. So like this, what I should do, I should keep on decrease the magnitude of E bar. Not only till C, we can continue till here like this. Fine. So what is EMF induced in the rod OB is also 0. So then what is total EMF induced? EOB should be equal to EOE plus EOB plus EAB. These two are 0 plus EAB. Electric field should be perpendicular to the circle, tangent drawn to the circle, no? Because how the induced current will flow, if some conducting wire is there, how induced current will flow along the circumference of that ring. Then who will make it to move? The induced electric field only. So therefore you have to draw a circle, draw a tangent. This is very important. Without this background, you will be in a big trouble. Instead of doing all problems, at least to do one problem and understand things first. The induced electric field should be tangential, means in a region, if magnetic field is varying here, V bar is varying everywhere, you have to draw a tangent. Then sir, I want here. Like this, it will be. Draw a circle, draw a tangent. So finally, what is EAB? Should be equal to EOAB only. This should be equal to L square alpha by 2 root 3. Now I want for this particular thing, for the total rod AC, how to do? We will calculate that also because anyway problem is available. No? For EAB we calculated, I want EAC. I want EAC. Again, EOA and EOC will be 0, no? Then EAC, how to calculate EAC, but we don't know the area, no? So where the flux is linking, the flux is effective area, you have to take this one. So what is the effective area of triangle plus area of sector? Getting the idea? So the effective area, what all it will come, it will be, I don't have space. Yeah. I'll continue the next part of the problem here. We are now taking for the total triangle OAC. So what is the formula will be? EABC. This has to be determined. For that, what I do is EOA plus EABC plus EOC should be equal to EABC. But this is equal to 0. Any reason? And EOC will be 0 because everywhere E bar perpendicular to DL. OAC. Yeah? So EOAC. EOACO. Total triangle. Okay, I'm changing symbols. Some of you are getting confused with, sir, what is triangular total, that one. Is it okay now? Now come for this. For the rod, ABC has to be determined. So can we calculate what is area? But here also, there is no magnetic field here, no? And magnetic field is present only in this region. And it's everywhere, but our this one, how to calculate this area. So I'll call this as point P, this one. So area of triangle plus area of sector. So EO, so the effective area, this will be E O A B C O. A B C O. And this now. So how to calculate this one? Area of triangle SOABO SOABO plus SOBPO. I'm writing in small letters into dB by dt. Let's write it. Area of triangle, already we know it, no? L square 2 root 3. What is area of sector? Half r square theta. So r square angle pi by 6 into this is alpha. And this should be equal to EABC. Able to make it out now? So now effective area in the lens in the Faraday's law, E equal to S dB by dt. Here S is not area of triangle OABCO because the field is present only in this region. Here no field. So I'll write it. Some other letter. Okay, some other color. No field here. And the field is present in this region. No? So this is one triangle what you get. So this is what. Is it okay? An area of triangle BPC should not be taken because there the field is not present. So like this, you can find out for rod any orientation. Let it be oriented in any way. You can use this particular method. Let's again, similar idea is reflecting here in this question. EMF induced between the ends of the rod. After discussing this, I'll make it one generalized concept so that you can manage. Let rod be get oriented anyway. You can work on that one. Now this is the circle. So B bar and there's a rod which is placing here. Only EMF induced across that rod is asking now. So this should be A, this is B, this is O. So what can be this length? This is R. This is equal to R. B bar is everywhere into, I think we have to show it. It is confined to proceed like this. So what is how E bar will be? Once again, this idea is coming for you. This will be the direction of E bar, no? What about for the rod here? At the place of the rod, how E bar will be? Here it will be tangential to the rod. Again, you could look at this. the magnitude of if you write it E1, E2, E3, E4, it will be continuously varying. When you move from A to midpoint, no, the magnitude, that the angle between E bar and DL is varying, and also magnitude is varying. So can we really integrate? Not possible, no? So why you are not using this formula for EAB? And tell me, what is the difficulty I'll encounter here? At different points on the rod, the magnitude of E is different, you see, like E1, E2, E3, E4. And also look at the angle between DL and E bar. It is also varying, no? Don't show tangents parallel. It will be like this. Look at that angle between E bar and DL. So where is the DL? DL will be here. This is a DL. So at different points on the rod, E will be different, magnitude will be different, and also the angle made by E bar with DL element will be different here. So can we integrate? Not possible. No? So how this expression, it will end up like this. We'll be in a big trouble. So this will be EAB will become equal to E1 DL cos theta 1, E2 DL cos theta 2. And so on, En DL. So then tell me what is the only alternative method. I'll find out total EMF induced in the loop, and since EMF induced is proportional to length, I'll get on the same thing, that one. So what is the EMF induced in the total triangle EOABO? This should be equal to EOA plus EAB plus EOB. Now what is EOA and EOB? This will be 0. Why 0? Because E bar perpendicular to DL. At all points, E bar is perpendicular to DL. So area of this triangle, length is 2L. So this is a triangle, what we have now, L, this is R, root of R square minus L square. So half into, this will be half into L into root of R square minus L square dB by dt. This will be the getting some method. So like this, the rod, even if it extends, previous problem I extended rod. So now you have in matching ones, in Cengage one matching is there, just based on all these ideas. Please do work out that, so that anything related to this or previous problem, no, the same, from there only I picked up. A few more options are there. Try to work out them. It'll be much easier. Let me have some, yeah. Completed this one. Take the next, based on the similar concept. A solenoid will produce magnetic field in a region of a circular region of radius r in cylindrical region, and the magnetic field varies with the time. dB by dt equal to k. A charged particle having charge q is placed at point P. It is what? A charged particle. It is placed at point P. Now the particle is moving in the direction perpendicular to or 2 times area. What I did, 2 triangle. Okay, then this is not there. Half plus of that one. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And this charge particle is moved perpendicular to OP by an external agent up to infinity, so that there is no gain in kinetic energy of the charge particle. Means it is moved slowly. from rest to rest, rest to rest, till where? Till infinity. Then it's asking what is work done by extra agent. What is the formula? Work done by extra agent in moving a charge from one point to another point in a electric field. Charge into potential difference between 2 points. Or shall we go for work done equal to F into dx, and what is F? F equal to QE. So you must analyze all possible options. F into dr bar, Q E bar dot dr bar. Do we know induced electric field outside the? Yes, we know. So try to see, can we really help of this? What are other options? Work done equal to charge into potential difference. So can we calculate potential difference point P to till infinity? So what is that path? How to calculate potential difference at these points? There's a radius, so we do have path here, no? So this is the next again from here to let me do like this. So this is the point O, this is the point P, and let me take this is A, let me see, and this distance is infinity. And where is this? This is at far away at infinity. And how E bar will be directed? Everywhere here it will be maximum. And at infinity it will be almost zero. Similarly for this E bar, will not be zero at point P, because P is what? Some specific distance he has given. This is equal to D. Okay, this much is what we have. So work done to move from P to A. I'll X agent will do work in moving charge particle from P to A. That work done is what being asked here. What is EOC and EOP? Should be zero. Any reason for that? E bar perpendicular to DL bar at all points. Where is C and A? C and A are at infinity, no? So what do you expect there? E bar? EAC must be zero. Any reason for that? Because E bar here will be zero. Diagram appears finite since A and C are at infinity. So what is the value of E along the line AC will be zero. So therefore EAC will be zero. In the diagram it appears finite. I wrote infinity. It should be understood. So point A and C are at infinity. So what is the value of their induced electric? It will be zero, because the electrode keeps on decreases and it becomes zero. So what is the value of induced electric field at A and C? Will be zero. This is somewhere you should write it. The value of E at A and C is zero. So definitely EAC will be zero. So therefore EAC is zero. Okay, no. So somehow we are able to get that one. No? So only EPA. So what is total EMF induced in this loop? Loop OCAPO. EMF induced in the loop OCAPO. PO. They should be equal to EOC plus ECA plus EPA plus EOC. All these are 0, 0. This is 0, and this is 0. How to calculate EOCOP? So, but the B bar is present only in this region, no? In the quarter circle. So S into dB by dt. So separately you calculate here. ECOAPO should be equal to pi r square by 4 into alpha, effective area. If you choose that triangle OAP, any problem will arise? So you mean to say you are going to choose like this area? Till infinity. If you choose like this, then what happen? We'll get almost half of this value. 90 degrees, 45 degrees. Pi r square by 8 will come. Pi r square by 8 will come.
It should be 0
Okay,
now, sir.
this will be, say one thing, what will happen again, you see that it should be at A, no? This A is at infinity. Check it now. Is it possible? Because if I pass a line, can it meet at infinity? Not possible. No? Check it. Geometry. So what is the work done now? So work done. So what is the formula? Work done is equal to work done in moving the charge from work done by XT. So, and from this formula, EOC APO should be equal to EPA. So they should be equal to QE pi r square by 4 alpha. And now you vary the distance d. Starting from 2r, you make it 6r. I think it doesn't make difference, no? And if d equals 0, work done by extrusion will be 0. If A and P are at infinity, then you could have picked up that part. P is at finite, A is at infinity. I think you can't pick up O to A straight, not possible. Now take the application problems. Read the question, read the question. This you can say the best numericals can be asked here. So you should be very good in what the logical thing, like similar to Ampere circuit law. Any nice logical question they'll dump in the exam. So you should be very careful. Okay, now read the question here. So dB by dt should be equal to C1. Then EOA, ECA and ECB. Everywhere E bar perpendicular. Is like this. So here everywhere, this is DL. So directly from looking at, so for path for path CA and CB, E bar is perpendicular to DL. So therefore ECA equal to ECA. The same story here. Then what is the total EMF induced in the loop? Is equal to ECA plus EAB plus ECB. These two are zero. How to calculate the loop? The effective area. So what is the effective area will come? Only this part. This is what effective area, no? Area of the sector, and it's a equilateral triangle. So 60-degree area of the sector you substitute here, S into area of sector into dB by dt. Area of sector, it will be radius is r square by 2 pi by 3 into this is C1. This should be equal to EAB. So this is EMF window is asking potential difference. No, he didn't ask that EMF induced in the loop. So this is EMF induced in the side. He didn't ask this one. What is the question asked? Potential difference he has asked. So what shall I do for this? I should replace with a cell. No? So where the total EMF of the cell should be brought. Cell should be brought only in the arm AB, not in the C and C, because there's no EMF induced. So then if I draw this will have a resistance. How the induced current should flow? The induced current will flow in this direction in the loop. So therefore, that particular total EMF of the loop should be brought only in this part of the circuit. This is C, A, and this is B. Lambda ohm per meter. Side length 2r, radius is r. Lambda r. So this will be lambda into 2r, lambda into 2r. Lambda into 2r, and this is total EMF induced. So now you calculate the current I. What is I is equal to? EAB by lambda 2r, lambda 2r, lambda 2r. So this should be equal to pi r square C1 by 6 by 6 lambda r. 6 get cancels. So pi r square C1 by lambda. This is the expression for current. Now you write KVL equation. So VA positive negative minus I into lambda 2r plus C minus VB 0. (36) in denominator. Yeah, 6 by 6. Lambda here, high end, that one lambda gets cancelled, so we'll get expression for E. Anybody value N? 9 n equal to yeah.
Sir, once can
Things that one. So what happened?
Sir, once can you say, sir, how to
Potential
take
difference
electrical
and
effect?
EMF. Again, I'm unable to hear you a little bit clearly. Some disturbance is there. Yeah, yes. Somebody was asking some clarification. Please talk again. I could not hear anything. Induced electric field by Lenz's law. Induced electric field, and it should be you draw a circle, draw a tangent. So here circle, draw a tangent. Here draw a circle, draw a tangent. Draw a circle about center, about center C. About that you draw a circles, and it will be tangent to the circle. And apply Lenz's law. From the Lenz's law, you can predict either it will be clockwise or anti-clockwise. Is it okay now? The red color arrows, how I am drawing about point C, draw circle. All of you know tangent, how to draw tangent to circle. By Lenz's law, it should be anti-clockwise or clockwise. If the EMF positive, it should be anti-clockwise. EMF negative should be clockwise. Please do understand, we don't have any other method. Okay, no? So draw concentric circles, and for that concentric circle, draw a tangent. That will be the direction of E bar. From center to point, this particular thing, where the field is existing, it will be increasing. Here maximum, then decreases. So EMF induced potential difference. Again, there's a difference there. Please do notice. This is EAB. Yeah? That's same similar idea-based question. Now look at the triangle. I brought now inside. So who will produce this? Say all of you, then simply like a stupid, just doing numericals. First understand who will produce such a magnetic field. It's a solenoid. So induce the electric field at the axis of solenoid 0. As you move from the axis to the coil, where the turns are there, where the wire is there the field strength will increase. Electric field strength will increase. This one, here field strength will increase. So how to get the direction? Draw circles. Draw a tangent to circle. That will be the direction of induced electric field. Manage here, no? The triangle I brought inside the solenoid. In exam, rather than something big research, don't do it. We'll produce such a field in a circular region, solenoid only. It's a practice to show field confined only to the circular region. Because outside it will not exist. Now I have this much. So this is the triangular loop. No, field is there. It cannot be like that. Field is there. Field is there. A triangular frame is placed inside a. So this is the center of the circle. So let's have this one. Now get into the problem now. A, B, C, and this is O. Field also I'll show it. The magnitude of potential between the points A and B will be. Just think and analyze once. Hale the loop, a part of loop where outside, no, now the total loop has come inside. What about EMF induced in each side? Think in that way. The base of triangle has 1 ohm, the other sides have 2 ohm. The magnitude of potential between points C and B. Will there be EMF induced in all sides? It's definitely no. So you look at the direction of E bar. E bar. So here it will be perpendicular, it will be tangential. So again, it will be like this. So there'll be EAC, all will be non-zero. No, how to get that one? So EMF induced, and what is this? It's a perpendicular plane of the triangle. The base of the triangle AB has 1 ohm, while the other two are the magnitude of potential difference. I think it's a equilateral triangle. Each side 2 meter. It's equilateral triangle. So EMF induced in each side must be equal, and O is the midpoint of that one. So here, what is the area of triangle? You take it, then divide that total EMF into each part. So first of the loop will calculate off into base height 1. Anybody height of the triangle? One meter, 2 meter, 60 degree. Sine 60h by 2 or root 3 into dB by dt. dB by dt is again root 3. This is the area. So off into root 3 into root 3. 3 by 2 is what? EMF. So what is the EMF into each side? Again, EAC.
It's root 3 by 4, sir.
dB by dt is root 3, no?
Area, sir, root 3 by 4 a square.
Sir, area should be, there you wrote 1, no sir. It should be 2. Side is 2
This is-
meters, no sir.
Okay, okay. This is only root 3, huh? Only,
Only 3, sir.
okay, this will be only 3. A half into base into height, no? Height is how much? Height will be root 3. Yeah. So this will be 3 volt total. Now you go for the EMF induced in each side should be equal. So it should be EBC, ECA plus EAB. Why it should be? Because all are of same length. So what all EMF will be shared equally? Because the EMF is proportional to length. EMF induced, so they should be equal to 3 by 2 volt. This should be equal to E times of loop by 3. Shall I put 1 volt in each side? Then replace a circuit diagram. So bring the circuit diagram to picture. Resistance and a cell. How the polarity of cell should be taken? Again from Lenz's law. How the induced current? So this is A, B, C. Call this is E. Resistance, something is telling the base of triangle has 1 ohm, whereas the other things has 2 ohm. Let the current be I. So what is current I should be equal to? I we should find out. What is I? I into loop by total resistance. 1 plus 2 plus 2. 3 by 5. So now we know current I. Then calculate the potential difference. So just that loop, a part of loop will then magnetic, a part will lie outside. Total loop will be oriented. Any of the conditions, he may bring it here. I think it will become 2 by VAB, no? So VA minus I into 1 plus C minus VB0. Solve for VAB, will get the required answer. To develop a very generalized idea rather than there's a region in which magnetic field is present. I can bring loop in any orientation of any shape. No, I'm trying to generalize now. There's a center. This one. Now take the loop. Can I bring a loop? Like this also. Then what is the EMF induced in this side and this side? Will be 0. Better as a student, you analyze EOA and EOB will be 0, no? Only EAB will be non-zero. Now, sir, instead of this, I'll bring instead of triangle, let me bring a circular one or say some rectangular one. Rather than numericals, better you take all the possible situations. So let this be the center O. Now B bar is there like this. What about EMF induced? So this is A, B, C, and D. About A, B, B, C, and C, D will be non-zero. EAB will be 0, whereas other things will be non-zero. EDC or ECD, just EMF we are calculating that one. So different shaped loops like this will come. And not only this, even you can extend also. You can extend a loop outside also, like earlier what we did for triangle, no? So any arbitrary shape. So here rectangular loop I'll extend outside. Then you check it. How things will be there. So now the questions will become unlimited. Huh? Have some general conclusion. It'll be easy for you to map things. And let this be the center of the loop. Now what about EMF induced in all A, B, C? Total EMF induced in the loop will be only due to this shaded part. This is the effective area is what you have to take it. I'll write it S. So let dB bar be equal to B naught T. So what is the EMF induced in the loop? This should be equal to S into B naught. About EMF induced in the rod AD, non-zero. In the rod AB, non-zero. BC, non-zero. CD, non-zero. Is it okay? So now, anywhere, anything you can ask, you know. Let's take some other different problem here now. Read the question. Two long coaxial solenoids of radius 2 and 4 centimeter respectively have same number of turns per unit length and carry initially no current. Current starts flowing in same direction both solenoids simultaneously so that both currents increases linearly with time. You don't get that spring one. They don't show coil like this. Huh? It's just understood. Two solenoids. Solenoid 1, solenoid 2. Cross-sectional view of solenoid is what you are viewing here. We are moving to now, rather than just calculating, no, we are taking some application. So that induced electric field, what it can do to the charge particle. It can make it to move. It can accelerate. So this is solenoid 1, which is having a radius. I'll take this is radius of this, let it be R1. Then there's another solenoid. The radius of that, let that be R2. And now the current, here current is 2I. Here the current is I. So there is solenoid 1, solenoid 2. What about the B bar produced by both the solenoids? In what direction B? Will be into the plane. Into the plane. So everywhere the B bar, and we have here charge particle. He himself is telling it's going to move in a circular path of radius r. And there's a charge particle. Get into the problem now. Increase linearly with the time. So the current increases linearly with the time. So let me take I is equal to KT. 2 kTb magnetic flux. So now what will happen to the induced electric field here? B bar due to both will be into the plane. No? So how the induced electric field should act at this particular point should be, I'll bring charge exactly at this point. It'll be easy for us to show tangentially. This will be E bar. So how to calculate that E? E is what? Induced electric field. We should calculate that flux linking, no? Now, what about flux linking the, like in a region of radius r, the first solenoid, where all it can produce the field. So if you are getting confusion, do take help of superposition of both the fields. Do take superposition of both the fields. So first only one solenoid you take. It's solenoid 1 with a black color ring. I'm showing it. So where all it produce field, only inside it, no? So what is the expression for B1? What do you write? Mu naught N. What is the current? High, it should be 2 kT. And then what is the flux linking till here? Flux due to the first solenoid should be equal to B1 into effective area. Effective area is pi R1 square only, no? Because where is R? R is here. Huh? R is here. So there's the point. Point P, I'll write it. So is it okay? B1 effective area pi B1 into pi R1 square you're going to write. Now let's come for draw a blue color line. Now where is the point P? Point P lies inside this solenoid. This is R2, radius R2. This is R1. Yeah. Pi R1 square. And where is that trajectory of charge particle? Will lie inside here. This should be R and there's the point P. Now what is the flux linking it? First calculate. So what is the current? Current is what? I is equal to KT. And how it will produce B bar? B bar everywhere it will be blue color one. Now write it. What is the flux linking it? Flux linking due to this second solenoid. Phi 2 should be equal to effective area pi r square only. There it was pi r1 square. Try to notice. The point P lies outside this solenoid, but B bar is confined only to circular region of 0 to capital R1. Here the B bar is confined to the circular region from 0 to capital R2. But we want till only the effective area is pi r square. So pi r square into dB2 by dt. So this should be equal to how much? Mu naught n k. Okay, so we are not integrating, no? Differentiating. Keep it here. Mu naught n kt. Now, when both are present, what you are going to do? The total flux linking now in a circular region, in a path, there's a path of radius r. The total flux should be equal to phi 1 plus phi 2. So add up these two. So this will be mu naught n 2 kt pi r1 square mu naught n mu naught n kt, I'll take outside pi. So 2r1 square plus r square. So whenever more than one solenoid comes, you take help of superposition principle. Then differentiate this, will get the EMF induced. Then we can go for induced electric field. Before that, I think there's only flux, no? So therefore, what is induced electric field? E into 2 pi r. And I'll start with the definition. It'll be much easier. E into dr. Dr is this one. E into dr. This should be equal to d phi by dt. Everything I care in S dB by dt. Everything I've taken care in the calculation of flux only. So now what is EDR? So this should be E into 2 pi r is equal to mu naught n k to r1 square plus r square. Pi get cancelled, so 2 will end up there. So the expression for E will be mu naught nk by 2r 2r1 square plus r square. This is the expression for E. Now the particle there, what happened, will experience a tangential force. And let's come to the question. At the rate of increasing current in solenoids, a charged particle initially at rest between solenoids starts moving along a circular path of radius r. How it is possible? Magnetic force, what it will do? B bar, and it's having a tangential velocity. So the magnetic force will start acting in this direction. Right equation, no? So that will provide required centripetal force. What about tangential velocity? How to calculate tangential velocity? Look at E, constant or variable. Look at this value of E. It's a constant, no? So therefore, what is A tangential? I'll go back to circular motion. Non-uniform circular motion should be Q E by M. Then what is the speed of the particle at any time? So this should be equal to A tangential into T. Then this magnetic force will provide required centripetal force. So this should be equal to Q VBM. Or go back to circular motion concept. This, what about the B there? You have to calculate B due to at that particular point. How to calculate B? Magnetic field due to outside solenoid, and all that B has to be calculated now. So one V will get cancelled. Able to link this one? The magnetic force here, Lorentz force, will provide required centripetal force. I'm equating the condition. mv square r equal to qvb. So here, what is the value of B? We don't know B, no? There, how to get the magnitude of magnetic field strength?
mu naught n kt.
Only due to external solenoid only it should be there, no? The magnitude there, then substitute that. So I think here we'll do one thing. First we'll take it out this much here. Mu naught n kt. This should be equal to m r v, what you can write as q e by m into t. So that t also get cancelled, and you know value phi. Substituting that e here, solving, we'll get the required answer. So I'll give the answer.
2 root 2.
2 root 2.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Some application problems. So now just keep in mind, like in a region where magnetic field is varying, induced electric field is set up. That induced electric field, what it will do? It will make the particle to accelerate. It will keep the particle in equilibrium. It will keep the particle to move in circular path. So many conditions will come for you. You must be ready for that one. I substituted V is equal to QE by M, QET by, so here substitute the value of E from here, this equation, and solve it to get the required answer. So that mu n, mu naught nk will get eliminated. You can see from here. Okay, let's take the next one. Yeah. Two root 2 will come answer. 2 root 2. Check calculation. Okay, let's come for this. Uniformly charged non-conducting disk. Charged. I am bringing some charged disk here. So there's a charged disk. It's present in uniform magnetic field as shown in figure. So there's a magnetic field is present everywhere into the plane. And the magnetic field is switched on, and it's a time varying magnetic field, the B bar. So let R be the radius of the disk. Everywhere charge is present. Again, I should show plus sign. It will become very clumsy, the diagram. So I'm just retaining it's a charged disk. Okay, let's come for this one. Now he's asking angular velocity. Why do the disk will rotate? So there's a magnetic field, no? So what it does, the axis of the field, or like it's this particular charged disk is kept in a solenoid. Better recollect here. So what is the overall diagram? The diagram is something of this kind. I'll make it a little bit small. No, come for this. What actually the meaning of all this? There's a solenoid. There's a solenoid. Inside the solenoid, here is what a charged disk is kept. And how B bar will be directed in this direction. Able to imagine the condition? B bar. So this is the axis of this point O is what? The axis of solenoid. Okay, always keep in mind this one. We don't have till now the magnetic element which can produce magnetic field in this region, like this perfect square boundary. Though in numerical they show it's hypothetical. We don't have any current carrying structure which can produce magnetic field which is confined to like a square boundary. Yeah? This is not possible, practically not possible. That's why all our induced electric field concepts will be confined to, the magnetic field will be confined to circular region. Now, if you want to type in Google also, it will show that much of information only. Practically not possible. So even if they don't mention, you assume that it's everything like a solenoid. Even if they give magnetic field like this also, it's hypothetical. Just assume like a solenoid only. And let's come for this. Now B bar is increasing. So will there be any induced electric field? Yes. So I'll assume a strip. No. I'll assume a strip. Oh, black color. Let it be. Now I'll assume a circular strip. So let the radius of the circular strip, let it be smaller. The width of that, let it be dr. So this will contain small amount of charge, dq. So how to calculate the charge dq? dq equal to sigma into 2 pi r dr. How the induced electric field should be? Everywhere tangential, no? Again, take help of the induced electric field everywhere will be tangential. Not at one point. You can show it almost at all points. Now, this particular elemental disk is having a charge dq. It will experience a force. So shall I say it will experience a torque now? df at all points it will experience a force that one, and now that force will be tangential, and that tangential force will set up a torque, and because of that the disk starts rotating. The application of induced electric field: if any charged body is there in a time varying magnetic field, it's going to experience a, due to induced electric field, it's going to experience a force. That force can accelerate, that force can set up a torque. All related problems will come. How to calculate that torque? The value of E is everywhere same, no? So let me take a small element. Let me take a small element first. What is the force acting on that small element? dq is a charge of total disk, that one. dq dash is what? So what is the force df you are going to write? df is equal to E into dq dash. Like that, a force will act at all points tangentially, no? So if I integrate this, what do we get? Zero to dq, so there should be E into dq. What is E? How to calculate E? We don't know E, no? So what is the formula? 2 beta. Okay, I'll take you back to the earlier one, what we did. For solenoid, now what is the magnitude of induced electric field at a distance r from the axis of solenoid, inside the solenoid? This is a solenoid at a distance r. This is a E bar, and everywhere B bar is like this, no? Okay, now what is this formula? E into 2 pi r effective area pi r square dB by dt. dB by dt is 2 beta. So E equal to 2 beta r. 2 also get cancels. So beta r will be the induced electric field. Recollect this one. Take help of this. This is the path length. So in place of E, I'll write df equal to beta r into dq. So this should be equal to beta dq is sigma 2 pi r dr. So what is the torque? The torque acting on that elemental ring, d tau should be equal to df into r. So beta r sigma 2 pi r dr into r. Then everything will be 2 pi sigma beta r cube dr. Let's calculate total torque acting on the disk. D tau should be equal to 2 pi sigma beta r cube dr. So what is the, where all the charges present from 0 to capital R? So the net torque acting on the disk will be 2 pi r beta r to power of 4 by 4. Pi r beta.
R will not be, sir. Small r will not be.
Oh, this should be there inside, no? Yeah.
Sir, that is sigma, sir.
2 pi sigma beta. Okay, this I wrote it. Pi sigma beta r to power of 4 by 2. This should be the resultant torque. You have plenty of application problems. Just I picked up some basic idea. No, this torque, is it a constant? Check it. See, like now, where that every point on a disk will experience a force. How it will be like here? It will experience a force. Here it will be. The force will be. Every point on a disk will experience a force here. So what about here? The force will be like this. So like that force will set up a torque. Sir, what about net force? Anybody? Net force on the disk? Zero, non-zero.
So
It should be zero, no? Because you choose element here, no? You choose diametrically opposite element. You choose another element here. So this element will experience force like this. What about this element? Will be downward. You look at this element towards left, this element towards right. So net force on the disk will be zero. Every point on the disk will experience a force, tangential force, and the net force will be zero. The tangential force will set up a torque, and that is net torque. Able to make it out, this one? So then it's a constant torque. You are having angular acceleration. So calculate now angular acceleration. Alpha should be equal to torque this by mr square by 2. You'll get the alpha. Then what is the angular velocity? Omega equal to alpha into t. I'll proceed down. Okay, now what is alpha is equal to? Alpha will be pi sigma beta r to power of 4 by 2. This will be m r square by 2. So pi sigma beta r square by m. Then what is omega? Omega equal to alpha into t. Pi sigma beta r square m t. So and this should be anti-clockwise omega. At any time t, it will be this much here. Okay, now if the disk is placed on rough surface, tell me what changes you are going to make it. It is on a smooth surface. The disk is placed on. So how our entire discussion is like this. Huh? Still, if you are finding it difficult, and B bar is directed like this, and this is a disk. And the disk starts rotating about a vertical axis. Able to make it out? This one, it is placed on smooth surface. If the surface is rough, anything will happen. Torque due to friction will come. So immediately the disk will rotate. No, when the torque is having sufficient magnitude which can overcome the friction, then it rotates here. You do have one problem in Balaji publication. I think tomorrow I'll discuss that. There's a smooth surface, we took it. No, this is some. First we'll discuss. There's a Pathfinder question is there. Read the question. Again, this is based on basic concept. Some voltmeter, I'm going to measure the potential difference. Then we'll see what will be reading of voltmeter when you connect in different way. Read the question very systematically. It's directly giving us some information. In a ring, how much of EMF is generated to a load? Because the account of Faraday's law, S into dB by dt and EMF induced is to a load. A voltmeter of very high resistance is used to measure potential between 2 points on the ring separated by 1/4 of ring. The voltmeter will be connected in two different ways. What will be the reading of the voltmeter? Will it be same or different? The field is varying continuously with the time. The magnetic field is varying continuously with the time. First case, so this is that ring. This is the voltmeter wires. These are voltmeter wire. And B bar is varying in this. Who can produce such a field? Solenoid. Radius of that. So let's not bother field, radius, everything. Directly has given the EMF induced in the ring is how much? 12 volt. Total EMF induced is 12 volt. Now, what is the method you brought? And B bar is varying. Okay, look at C now. The B bar varying in this magnetic field region. Will it produce induced electric field only in that circular region of radius C or beyond that? Yes, it will produce, no? And there's a conducting wire. So the induced electric field will also be present here. So now what this induced electric field will do? Will make the charges to flow here also, no? So the effect of induced electric field will not only on the ring, will also be there on this connecting wires and particular thing. So therefore the flow of charge here depends on what? Depends on induced electric field. Now what is the resistance? So we'll make a points here. So let this be the point A, C, B, and D. The ring is it's broken into two parts. ADB one arc, ACB one arc. So what is the resistance of those arcs? Let R be the total resistance of the ring for our understanding purpose. R be the resistance of total ring. And then what is RABC? Should be R by 4. What is RABC? Should be 3R by 4. Now what all EMF induced? 1/4 will be induced across ABC. And another 3/4 will be induced. What are the 12 volt? What we are saying, no? And what is total EMF induced across the ring? 12 volt for only ring. This is the background. Now you are going to connect to voltmeter. Now what is the EMF induced in ADC? What is the EMF induced in ABC, ACB? Total EMF induced should be E by 4. 1/4 of that will come. ACB should be E by 4. And the total EMF induced in ADC, ADB should be 3E by 4. What is the reading of voltmeter is asking. What about EMF induced in this loop? Where is the loop? There are two loops are there for you. There's a one loop, there's a one loop. What is the net variation of magnetic field here? 0, no? So no EMF induced in this loop. Net EMF will be 0 here. And we know EMF induced here E by 4. So there should be some EMF induced in this side. It should be equivalent opposite. So I'll draw the circuit here. It will be like this. 3R by 4, 3E by 4, or you do one thing, if you want to write it. How to give the polarities for the cell? This should be A, B, C. Then there's a voltmeter will come. It's having high resistance, so there's no resistance of voltmeter. So in place of voltmeter also, I will bring one cell. There's a voltmeter. EV1 I'll call. There's a first case, no? There's a first diagram. Or write V1. No, no EMF should be induced in the loop, no? So what should be the value of EV1? EV1 should be E by 4. It should be equal to EACB. The magnitude of EV1 should be equal to EACB. So what is EACB? Should be equal to E by 4. And this is equal to how much? 12 by 4, 3 volt. Are you able to understand? So, sir, why you are equating this? No EMF induced in this loop. So therefore, when you trace it out, EACB plus EACB minus EV1 should be equal to 0. This EMF should be equal to this one. Then only the net EMF here will be 0. No current will flow here. Open circuit. Now, next again, come for the other diagram. So similarly, like this, you try to think. Actually, I should not show the circuit diagram to make you understand. I've just brought that idea.
Sir, in this case, why are we taking the resistance, sir? Just wait. Resistance of the ring is needed, no? High resistance, there'll be just, the ring will have resistance, no, there. So if you call that a ring is not having resistance, then only EMF is what is discussing. Just I gave a circuit diagram. Huh? I would have directly said answer 3 volt. How 3 volt? How I should explain? In this case, EV1 will be less than 3 volt now, sir.
Constant EMF of 12 volt is induced in the ring. Voltmeter of very high resistance is used to connect. You mean to say there'll be a current I will flow, then potential
Through the
drop is
resistance, yes.
to the resistance. There's a circuit diagram to make you understand. So the net EMF induced will be this much.
Okay, sir.
This is only for your help. It should we have to think like this here. If we mention specifically resistance of the ring, something and voltmeter of very high resistance. So no question of current flows in this voltmeter. That's ruled out. So actually it will read this particular potential drop here. So then resistance of the ring, if you take negligible, no, then it will read only equal to this much. Nobody has not mentioned. In both arrangements, the ring and connecting wires are in same plane. He has only mentioned that. Nothing else is there. Resistance of the ring, you take negligible. If they give resistance of the ring, then we should not write 3 volt less than that. Am I right? Because the current will be flowing. Will be different, will not be 3 volt. You have to calculate that potential difference, that you have to show it. We do have some problems like that also. That's why just I brought it here. No, I think the diagram. Next problem, with resistance only, I'll give it. It'll be easy for you. Why this is not coming?
will wind up here now. Now check it in similar way. So where the voltmeter will be connected at other ends. No, oh, I'll move down. No? Space not sufficient. There's a figure 2. They should not be there. The wire is connected. Oh. Voltmeter V2. Is it okay now? So second diagram. And B bar everywhere into the plane. The same situation. A and this is B. Okay, now work out how much it should be. The net EMF induced in this loop should be 0 because no magnetic field is linking, and this should be equal to E. So 1/4 of this, the equivalent circuit should be EV2, resistance of this 3R/4. And this is previously it was okay 3AD EADB, and this is EACB. Okay, now check it here. It will read how much. EV2 should be equal to 3E/4. So 3, 4, this is 12 volt. 9 volt, the voltmeter will read. This is a very dangerous thing that happens when you get into the lab. This is what happens here. So when you are working out with the magnetic materials and that the magnetic field is varying, no, the induced electric field will come into picture. So what actually we did, the wire, no, how you connect the wire from A to B, that will determine the reading of voltmeter. How you connect, and the wire and the particular ring are lying in same plane. Again, if you change the orientation of wire, things will be a little bit different here. So directly the voltmeter is I resistance, voltmeter is connected, no, so therefore it will just read, no current will pass through the voltmeter. This one, and ring also open, you can assume it to be of low resistance or high resistance. Better say high resistance, no current flow, so therefore it is reading that one. So for many of you are getting confusion, let me put very simple way. Resistance of ring is very high. So then what happened to current through the ring? If there is no current flow, then voltmeter will read EACB only. Fine, this is, I'll just make that addition. So here only I'll write it. Because we have next problems where the loop will have a resistance. So therefore, let's have that basic things properly here. Okay, fine, resistance of ring is very high. So now how that wires are connected between A and B matters a lot. No, if I bring the wire like this, it will read one value. If you connect the wire like this, it will read another value. So whenever you are dealing with, say, like a magnetic materials, means something solenoid, toroid, everything, and if you're measuring any voltage, and if B bar is varying, and if you're trying to measure any voltage potential for any other thing, no, you have to be very careful. Therefore, this particular diagram is what indicating. So this you do get plenty of problems. So how to say that no EMF induced in the loop? So you can see EMF in this loop non-zero here, in the ring non-zero. No EMF in this loop. Fine. So the net EMF should be 0. So what are EMF induced ADB? They should be equal and opposite to across this one. So the voltmeter will just read equal to that EMF. So EMF induced in this loop is 0. Here it will be non-zero. Like that, you'll get some connecting loops. In books, what happens? You have maximum only one loop is there. So I can bring connecting loop. Means what is the general idea of such problems? Means if you get a, if you are like this, so slowly what happens? You should develop a more generalized. This is the region in which magnetic field is present. I can bring one loop like this. And I'll connect one resistor also here. Clear this. Then I can bring another loop. I'll keep it here. It will have resistance, of course, all this. But B bar is varying here only. What about EMF induced in this loop? So I'll give the number 1, 2, 3. Altogether we have 3 loops are there. There's no EMF induced in the loop 1. Net EMF induced in the loop 1 should be 0. So and here B bar is present only here. What about EMF induced is a partially is there. Only this area of this sector, S into dB by dt. Area of this sector into dB by dt is the EMF induced in this loop 3. So what about this? This should be no net EMF induced should be 0. What all EMF produced here, equal and opposite will produce in this side. So you get more than one loop also in induced electric. You have to be careful. Our books confined only for one loop. More than one loop also can come. Tomorrow I'll continue with some problems related to this. Okay, fine. So yeah, thank you. Any doubt related to this topic, you can clarify. I'll wait. That's what, no. See, so I should generate idea. See, I'm not bothered just like some no EMF induced in this loop. I should generate that idea, no. You are bothered about answer, I'm bothered about concept. There is only difference. I'm saying no EMF in this loop because no magnetic field is present. EMF is induced in this loop because field is present. That's what I wanted to generate that idea. How the net EMF induced will be 0 because there is EMF produced here proportional to length. So equivalent opposite will be produced here. So therefore net will become 0. This is what we should think. Later on, okay, mathematically you're writing this voltage, this should be equal to this. Talk in terms of EMF induced in the loop. No EMF here, net EMF will be 0. Here net EMF is non-zero. So what all EMF induced in this, equal and opposite should be in this. That should be, that idea is what I should generate. No? no EMF, no net EMF. Okay, all of you. Bye. Take care. See you. We'll meet tomorrow again. Huh? Thank you, all of you.